prevent anyone developing pride. There were violent, unnecessary beatings from male teachers that went ignored and unpunished. There were unfair working conditions that subjected members to excessive hours of labor. There were forced isolation huts for use as punishment. Members had fraudulent bank accounts opened without their knowledge. Children were beaten in the name of God's love because, well, what could symbolize God's selfless love more than kicking the holy shit out of a child, right? Members who left were cut off from the community, prevented from contacting their family, and because most, if not all, of their family were born and raised in Gloriavale, that meant losing everyone they knew and loved. And finally, there were beatings, psychological control, forced marriages, as well as whispers of an even darker side to the cult that was beginning to leak out into the wider world. Whispers that told of rape, child abuse, and unimaginable cruelty. The cult had been formed by an enigmatic man with a mysterious past. I know, crazy, right? When does that ever happen? He was named Neville Cooper and soon renamed himself to Hopeful Christian, as you do. He led the cult for more than 40 years, and please restrain your surprise, he was dogged by allegations of sexual assault and child abuse, which he eventually served prison time for. He was condemned by an ex-Gloriavale member as a dirty old man, a man of unbridled lust, lies, and absolute power. And those were just the good parts. He eventually died from cancer at the age of 92. The Apologetics Index, which spends its time keeping its eye on Christian cults, indeed describes Gloriavale as a cult, stating that theologically this group is a cult of Christianity, as its theology, as well as its practices based on that theology, places it well outside the boundaries of the Christian faith. And whilst the main man from Nazareth went around banging on about the importance of selfless love, never hurting others, and so on, dangerous cults spawning out of Christianity, or any other religion for that matter, are hardly a new phenomenon. Plonk a big ancient holy text in front of people, and sometimes you get Gandhi or Jesus. Other times you get Hopeful Christian, John Africa, Jim Jones, or Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi. But we all know about the dangerous cult. Charles Manson has had so many books, TV series, and movies made about him, it's now impossible to separate fact from fiction. If we're honest, we've heard enough about these cults. The long and short of it is, a charismatic leader arrives, weird stuff happens, some, or most of them, get sexually assaulted, almost everyone dies. But, rather refreshingly, there is a cult out there that is mostly non-violent, doesn't revolve around weird sex acts, rape, or ritual suicide, yet it is, in every way, downright